time didn't go well, but sorry. I am so sorry that tonight's call has started a little bit off kilter. And Sarah, thank you for sharing what you shared in the beginning. I could hear you, but for whatever reason couldn't participate. What I wanted to share about MM100 was that I've kind of been able to let go of the anxiety of if I miss a day that I am like so far behind. It's been really nice. Like in the beginning, I got a little bit uncomfortable with the fact that I would be working out 7 days a week. But now it's like, if I don't hit all 7 days, it's not a big deal to double two up. Like before, I felt like I was doubling up like out of penalty. And now it's like, I'm just doubling up because I want to stay on track with everybody else. It's not like punishment. Does that make sense? Like, and that's huge for me with anything. I don't want anything to feel like punishment. And I think that this program really makes you feel that way. It's also made me given me the desire to add more into my morning routine, which sounds crazy for most of us, but and I think a lot of us are doing this and you probably just haven't even thought about it. But one of the things that I mean is a lot of you are doing devotionals now, and maybe you were doing them before. But when I see you sharing your devotionals, you're not just reading the devotion and thinking about it in that moment. You're marking it and you're making notes with it, and you're sharing that with people and inspiring people. And one of the things that I actually just purchased and it just got it delivered to me was a guided journal on giving yourself grace. Especially in moments like tonight when my child was crazy. But it's given me the desire to do that. I want to work on me in more ways than one. And before I would have been I don't have time to do that in the morning. And now it's I might need to wake up 10 minutes earlier, and it's okay because I want to. I have the desire to do it because there's just something about Jericho that makes you want to be a better person. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Can y'all still hear me right now? Was that a yes? Okay, sorry. One thing I really wanted to share with you guys tonight about inviting was some resources that we have in our Google Drive, because Christy did that amazing training on creating links and forms and how to, get people interested in what we're doing and how to get them plugged in with a system type process. But from there, we need to know what to do next. And that's where I really felt like I wanted to point you in the right direction. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about inviting, because that's one of the things that feels icky that we really struggle with overall. But I also wanted to show you all of the resources that we have available to you, that have been available to you. And we've talked about them and we share them when we get new coaches signed up. But I want to just remind you, because sometimes I feel like we feel a little lost, or we're in a funk, and we don't know how to invite, or we don't know what to say next after the person responds to us. So after this call tonight, I'm going to actually copy the link to the folder and I'm going to post it in our team page, because we have an entire folder titled invite scripts in our team page or in our Google Drive, I'm sorry. And within that folder, we have another folder of coaching scripts. We have another folder of email scripts that you can use when you get new leads or Beachbody On Demand members. We have an entire folder of objection scripts, which I think are super hard for a lot of us, because we don't know what to say when someone says no, because we don't like feeling icky, salesy, and we don't like making people feel like we're talking them into it, because really we don't need to talk anybody into anything. We got it going on, and we know that. And then there's also challenge invite wording ideas for those times in our calendar for September, where it tells you to invite to the challenge group. We've got scripts there for you. We have follow-up message scripts in there. We have invite wording scripts on what to say to someone after you do a call to action post and they like or comment on that post. we even have an invite script for a referral approach. And that's something major that I used to do a lot, and I've really let it slip. And I'm going to really focus on getting that started back the last few months of 2019, because I think it was really beneficial for me. But it's mostly like telling you what to say if you want people to start referring their friends and family to you. And then we also have an entire document of invite scripts to use when you're struggling with how to close a sale, how to wrap everything up. So the first thing I wanted to kind of go over with the invite is you have to actually invite. Like, you have to actually message them one-on-one. Like when they fill out your form, that's great, then you know they're interested. When they click your link, that's great, then you know they're interested. When they like your post or comment on your post, that's wonderful too, then you know that they are watching you, they're engaged with what you're doing, they're interested. Your little breadcrumbs, they're picking them up. But you have to get that interaction in a much more what's the word I'm looking for? In a much more, not just one-on-one, but intimate, I guess, climate, which would be talking and that one-on-one atmosphere. Like, for example, one of the conversations that I'm currently having with a girl from Instagram, this girl has been talking to me. I shared this with you, I think, on the last call. This girl has been talking to me for months now about different shake options and blah, blah, blah. And every time I'm just like, look, I don't know a lot about that, but I see what's in the ingredients and I know what I have. And I think that you, you know, you're not getting the best thing for you by doing it this way, blah, blah, blah. Well, she's now saying like, oh, I can't wait. I bought a new blender and I've got this new shake and I'm going to start making smoothies and blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to share it in my story. So if you see me and you see what I'm making, let me know what you think. And I was like, girl, why are you not coaching? And she was like, well, what do you mean? I don't know how to do that. I thought, oh my gosh, have I just done this terrible, like all this time I've been having these conversations with this girl, talking back and forth about her shakes and her options, and she's wanting to lose weight and all this. And of course, numerous times I have said to her, I can help you. But every time she shot me down, and she's got some other option that she's found either at Walmart or GNC or wherever. And I think I got a little frustrated, so I kind of let it go. And now I'm like, why have I, like, one of her objections was money. Well, why have I not said to her, you can coach? You're already on social media. You're watching what I'm doing. You're seeing what I'm doing. Why not? So we need to know where to go. We need to know what to do. So one of the things I really wanted to talk about was not just getting the conversation one-on-one in a more intimate climate in a private message, but also talking about that feel, felt, found method that I think we forget quite often. The feel, felt, found method is when someone says to you, you know, I'm really nervous about signing up because I've tried all these other things in the past and they haven't worked for me, or I've been doing this for so long and I'm not seeing results, or I just don't have the money right now, or it makes me nervous because I'm just returning to work on maternity leave, blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is, the feel, felt, found method is the best way to approach this. So objections in our business are extremely normal. They happen every single day. If you're not getting them, it means you're not inviting. It's like hands down. If you're not getting an objection, then you are not inviting people to the business. You're not inviting them to your challenge group. You're not inviting them to the flash sale, whatever it is we've got going on. If someone has not said no to you, it's because you have not reached out to enough people. Or if someone's not just like ghosting you, then you haven't reached out to enough people. We can't take it personally. It's not about us. We just have to see it for what it is. It's an unanswered question. Maybe no, they aren't ready. Maybe they're not even going to respond because they're so scared. But it just really means that the person you're talking to doesn't have enough information yet to feel confident about committing to spending the money, doing the program, giving up whatever it is they feel they're giving up. Most of the time, people are going to say they can't afford it, but really it's just them being fearful. So you've got to get that conversation private and intimate, because if you just keep it generic and in these posts on your social media, then they're not ever going to feel comfortable. You have to think about all of the things that you've tried and failed at. This is why one of the things that we have on our September calendar is for you to share your failures and your fears and your embarrassing moments and things like that. Because you have to be willing to tell people, I know how you feel. I know it's hard to commit to something new when you don't have the best track record for following through with the other things you've tried. I know you're worried about wasting money. I know you're worried about failing. I know how you feel about the change that this is going to take. I know that the change aspect of a lot of this is the scary part, because you don't know if you can handle the change. I know this. I feel you, because I have felt the same way. I felt the same way when I first saw the price. I felt the same way when I decided it was finally time to do something different. I felt the same way when I was like, okay, this program sounds a lot like another program that I've tried before and it didn't work for me. But this is what I found. What I found was that I really do have the money if I stop going to Starbucks every morning. I really do have the time if I prioritize myself and maybe wake up 30 minutes earlier in the morning, because I've noticed I'm really not that much more tired if I wake up 30 minutes earlier. I've found that I do want this bad enough to make the change. And I've also found that my family stands behind me and they're willing to make the change with me. It's just a matter of getting creative about how I look at my finances, or how I look at my calendar, how I schedule my time in my day. When somebody gives you an objection, you receive it with a smile. You remain confident that what we have to offer is different and better and like creme de la creme out of anything else that we have ever had to offer or that is offered. And if you can't get past the objection, like if your invite still goes objected, do not take it personally. Write their name down on the list. If you bought one of those bound bats from Lindsay Wythe, you have the best tool right there in your toolbox to help you succeed in this business. So you can write down the day you invite this person, and then you can write down their name on that list so that you remember to follow up with them. Now, maybe you don't follow up with them for a couple weeks, and you just check in and say, hey, I know you weren't ready. I'm not trying to bug you. I'm just checking in to see how life is going. How are things going since we last talked? Maybe they found something that's working for them. Maybe you can share a recipe with them. Be like, hey, I found this recipe. I thought of you because I know you're not ready right now to make the full commitment, but I thought you might want to try this with your family. Kind of ease them into the change that you're wanting to make. Just show them the value that you have to add to their life, and do it in that intimate way. It starts with the invite, but then you have to continue the invite. You can't just say, hey, you're invited, and then never talk to the person again. You have to write their name down and continue to follow up with them. You want to keep in touch with these people. You want to send just general messages every 1 to 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. Hey, I'm thinking about you. Saw this recipe, made me think of you. I'm getting ready to pop into my virtual gym, and I just wanted to say good morning and see how you are. I know that one of your goals was working toward losing some weight. How's that going? What's working for you at home? Blah, blah, blah. If you stay consistent with those follow-ups, and I'm not saying follow up by saying, hey, it's been a couple weeks. Are you still on the fence? Not that kind of thing. In order to turn no's into yeses, you have to actually engage and get to know and talk to the person. You have to take the invite to the next level. So then what I want to do is I just want to share, I know this, what you need to do in order to follow up with people. I think this is I think the initial invite is very scary for a lot of us, but then I think the next message that we send with that follow-up, it's like, what do I say? What do I do? When do I send it? We have a lot of questions about that. So we have that entire document on follow-up message ideas. And this really is where it's at. You have to send the invitations in order to keep your business growing and moving forward. But if you don't send the follow-up, you're going to lose like 80% of your sales. You have to follow up. So this is where the fortune is. If you don't follow up, that's when you're being salesy icky, because that's when the person knows all they did was message me trying to hit their sale or hit their goal for the month. They don't really care about me. The follow-up tells them this person is busy. She's running a business. She's trying to make money, but I'm more than just a number in her book. These need to happen after you send the initial invite, about 2 to 3 days after. You can send something like, hey, I just wanted to make sure you saw my message. I know life gets really busy. I hope you had a really good weekend with your family. I saw that you guys were at the beach last weekend. Try to personalize it based on what you see them doing on social media. I know if you're anything like me, you probably saw this message while you were, sitting on the toilet, if you're like me. So I just wanted to message you again and make sure that you had time to think about it and see what you were thinking. Or you can say something like, looks like you had a really good weekend. I know life gets a little busy. So if you're anything like me, you probably looked at my message while you were waiting in line at the checkout and just wanted to see what you were thinking, how you were feeling about everything that I shared. Or do you have any more questions about it? If they don't respond to you when you do your follow-up, you could send them another one in a few days, maybe even a week, and just be like, hey, I get it. I kind of get the vibe that you are not ready right now, or that you might have some questions for me. I just want you to know I don't plan to go anywhere. I'm going to be right here, and you're always invited. And if there's any questions I can answer, no strings attached, I'd love to answer them for you so that I can help you in the future. Then from there, you, like I said, every couple weeks or so, you want to be messaging them, letting them know you're thinking about them. You see something on their post, maybe they got a new puppy or something, be like, oh my gosh, I love golden retrievers. Your puppy is so cute. What's its name? Like, just keep the conversation rolling, keep the interaction rolling, but then also just love bomb them. Like, I love that phrase, to love bomb them. Like, love on their posts, be a light on your social media. If you know that one of their fears is money, then address that a little bit in some of your posts. Like, how did you overcome that if that was your objection in the beginning? You're always fertilizing that soil. You're always plowing the field so that when you plant, after you've planted the seed, it can actually take root and start sprouting. And you've done that when you send the invite. You planted the seed. Sometimes seeds take a little longer. Sometimes we really have to plow the hearts of people in order for them to feel ready. They have to trust us. And some people have some pain that they're working through before they can trust us. Maybe you're in the middle of a conversation and the conversation ends. We've got scripts for that. Maybe they stop responding to you after you send them the share a cart. We've got scripts for that. My point is, we have so many tools and resources at our fingertips as a team. So you need to make sure that you're using them. Hands down, you need to be inviting. Second, if you get stuck, share it in the team page, ask for help, see what we're saying, see what people are sharing, see what people say when you say, this is the objection I got. Share a screenshot of the conversation, put it in the team page. Let us help you. That's what we're a team for. Then use those scripts. I'm not saying copy and paste them. In fact, please don't copy and paste them. And I noticed today as I went back through them before this call, a lot of them start with the whole hey girl thing. And I know that's really started to become frowned upon, like sending hey girl messages. So maybe rephrase them. Maybe we need to go in and rephrase them, honestly. Like, maybe that needs to be a little project for us. But, just do what feels natural. But guys, I'm telling you, if you don't keep inviting, you will not grow. Your business will hit a plateau. You have to invite. We have set you up with ways to feel a little more comfortable because people are showing you they're interested. When they're interested, it means that the invite part should be a lot easier. because you know they're at least engaged in what you're doing. Okay. I adore her. I want to be like her. What is that? Who is that? Who did I talk about that you adore?
Jericho.
I can't remember.
It was when you were talking about Jericho.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Doesn't everybody want to be like her? Like, she has serious goals. Are there any questions about invites or any of the resources we have available? I'm trying to go back through our Google Drive and reshare all of these things that have been resources within our team page for the last year and a half, because I don't want us to forget about them. And I think they're gold. I think that we need to get back to basics in a lot of ways. And we have so many tools right there to help us get back there. It's just a matter of doing it. Does anybody have else anything they want to add or ask or anything?
I have one thing that might be helpful for people. I think probably the two most common objections for coaching are money is always one, but probably the most common for coaching is time. And when I did the Josh Coates retreat thing before Summit, he addressed that objection, and he was like, you should be hoping that people use that objection, because your response should be, that's perfect, because this is like the only opportunity that I can think of where you can make money in like 5-minute pockets. Like the most busy people are usually also the most motivated people. So if someone is already that busy in their life, as long as they can see that like potential, and you can kind of paint them a picture of how you do it being busy. Like when somebody's like, I'm busy, and I'm like, well, let me tell you about, like we're all really busy. And so that was a really helpful thing for me whenever he said, almost like respond like, that's a good thing, because that means that you're like almost bound to be successful with this, and we already have kind of a system set up to help you organize it with the rest of your life.
I love that. Like take their objection and actually like flip it on them, make it a strength.
Yeah.
Like with the money objection, almost every time we should say, well, you could make this a business. If money's really that tight, let's start making some. Like, and just be confident in it. Like, own it. I think
Exactly.
that's such a good idea. I need to gain back my confidence in my inviting. I really, in the last like year, struggled to invite because it felt like there were such bigger things going on in my life that inviting to this was like, like people would be like, what the hell, Lindsay? You've got like a lot of other stuff going on. Why are you bothering to message me about this right now? But I need to gain that confidence back. All right. I don't see any other questions or anything. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys putting up with my madness today. I apologize so much for the text messages and everything in the leader group and so thankful for Sarah for just like, I totally put her on the spot, but I'm just love you and grateful for a group of women that are understanding. Like, how about the next time someone says, oh, I'm a mom and I'm busy and I have all this, we can be like, yeah, well, last week's call, the person that was supposed to run it was late because of bedtime. So we get you. You're our people. But I appreciate you all for being on, even though it's a 3-day weekend. And I hope you enjoy your day off tomorrow with your family and friends. And hopefully you have the day off. And just, again, thank you for putting up with the crazy when it gets crazy. I love you.